Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the TWFC Blackout. Over the next few nights, we will have multiple matches to determine who advances in the World Series of Wrestling and look at the select members of the council at ringside to judge and critique which men deserve to move into what rounds of what division. It's all about impressing, winning, and advancing. There's going to be multiple matchups. Nobody knows who they're going against. And look at the first 10 matchups we had. What a draw this was. The who's who of TWFC. Sami Zayn with a big suplex to Cody in the early goings of the match. Later on, look at that beautiful neck breaker. Sami Zayn in control, surprisingly. But right here, a big power slam would turn the tides into Cody's favor as the American Nightmare would work the neck of Sami Zayn. Chad Gable here with a big German suplex to Jon Moxley. What a chance this would be for Gable to get back some credibility. With those knees to the gut, followed by throwing Moxley right into the pole on that bad shoulder. And another German suplex to Moxley. Later on, he would whip Moxley into the ring ropes and a big clothesline would pull the tides back to Moxley. Look at those elbows to the collar and neck area of Gable, followed by an armbar. We're going to be jumping around a lot here, ladies and gentlemen, as there was 10 matches going on. Naito thrown into the air by Cesaro. A European uppercut drops him to the ground. Cesaro looking to get some respect back here in TWFC. A beautiful suplex into the ring. Cesaro would be in control, only temporarily. Later on, big knee from Naito drops Cesaro, and Naito would follow it up with a big kick to the back of the head. Bringing some strong style here to TWFC. Beautiful tornado DDT right there. As we jump to Pac versus Darby, look at that backbreaker. The action is all over the place. This is the highlights of the first 10 matchups, night 1 of the TWFC Blackout. Look how Darby reversed that, would have been a power slam into a big flipping stunner, taking Pac off of his feet, swinging the momentum back to Darby Allin. Sheamus with a big backbreaker Irish curse to Orange Cassidy. Later on, he would try it again, but Cassidy would roll through for the big DDT. Cassidy relying on speed against the power of Sheamus. Look at this power of Sheamus. It was reversed into a flip power driver. Cassidy somehow staying alive in that David vs. Goliath. Minoru Suzuki making his TWFC debut, a chop fest with Eddie Kingston back and forth until he would hit a big side suplex that would drop Kingston on his neck. Kingston later with a big slam of his own onto the neck of Minoru Suzuki. Tommaso Ciampa with a big opportunity here against the new world champ Kevin Owens, and that DDT would plant the champion. Later on, look at this move, vintage Kevin Owens. The tilt-a-whirl, whatever you want to call it, it's effective. Just like this, the KO cannonball in the corner. The champion trying to prove that he deserves it. Look at this, Okada making his TWFC debut with a beautiful drop kick just seen. But look at this transition. Balor with a huge sling blade out of nowhere, dropping Okada. Later on, a big drop kick from Finn Balor, taking Okada off his feet, and he would follow it up with that huge brain buster. Both men down momentarily. Here's an important one. Angle versus CM Punk. CM Punk returning. We haven't seen him in a while. Angle would try to use his mat wrestling, but Punk would reverse it straight in to the go to sleep. That could have been it right from the start, but Punk was a little late on recovering, so he was going to go for another one. Could Punk knock off Kurt Angle right off the jump? Another go to sleep, but the leg was caught, reversed into an ankle lock. Angle, a master of reversing things, and look at this one, Evan Bourne versus the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. A little bit of technical wrestling to start this one off. Danielson seemed to be getting the advantage in the early on, but look at this, a roll through. It was almost over before it even got started. Smart ring awareness by Bourne, right into a suplex, and there's that injured head of the American Dragon, and Bourne would capitalize with a big sit down power bomb right there. Smart of Evan Bourne to be working that injured head. We go back to this match. A blue thunder bomb from Sami Zayn. Could he knock off the Cho? He almost knocked off the TWFC champion. That would have been a major win for Sami. Cody flipped out of the next attempt and hit a Cody cutter. This one was going back and forth. Sami Zayn really impressed in this one. Look at that throwing suplex right there. He just let him go in midair. Looking for the Death Rider maybe, but Chad Gable reversed into another suplex. It was Suplex City in that one. Another European uppercut and a big stomp from Cesaro. Everybody looking to prove themselves. Prove to the council they deserve to be in the high spots. Big neck breaker from Naito. And look at that super kick. Pretty much knocked Darby Allin out. Later on, a backwards coffin drop taking Pac off of his feet. Both men down there. Sheamus beating the chest of Orange Cassidy left and right. You would think that the power would be too much for Orange Cassidy to overcome, but look at this reversal. My God, he threw him to the outside. Speaking of outside, Minoru Suzuki throwing Kingston into the steps and then being backdropped out here right in front of us. Kevin Owens with a huge super kick, but Ciampa would bounce off the ropes with the clothesline. That one was going back and forth. Look at this Pele kick was caught by Okada, and he puts a tombstone down to Finn Balor for the 1-2. Balor got the shoulder up. Balor's had such bad luck in TWFC. We'll see. He could reverse that one and another sling blade variation. Balor trying to get on the winning edge here in TWFC. Big kick from CM Punk. And you know what he's looking for. That big corner knee into the Bulldog. But Angle reversed the Bulldog into an angle slam out of nowhere. This one is wide open, ladies and gentlemen. Back to this contest. Beautiful suplex from Danielson as he rose through. But then Bourne with the suplex of his own. That one was going back and forth. Now here's the suplex portion of our highlights. Look at these massive suplexes. One after another. Every match delivering such action with the council looking on. Remember, win or lose, the goal is to impress. Look at that one. Caught him in midair. Remember, none of these men had a chance to practice or be aware of who their opponent was. All these beautiful suplex right here. These are the highlights of night one of the Blackout. It was all over the place. German suplex, belly-to-belly suplexes off the top, everything. These men were giving it everything they got because so much was on the line. But look at this. He's trying to pull him, and the American Nightmare gets Evan Bourne. That was a hell of a crash. Speaking of hell of a crash, look at this right here. What a maneuver by Cody right on the head of Sami Zayn. A perfect plex from Chad Gable. A superplex from Naito. This was all over the place. Look at this. Poison Rana from the top rope. Darby should have been out of it right then and there. Sunset flip by Orange Cassidy, taking the bigger man off of his feet. Kevin Owens off the top with the frog splash. Every last bit of energy being wasted, exhausted to try to win this. Minoru Suzuki's signature pile driver, but he couldn't get the cover. The Rainmaker from Okada would take Balor's head off. Later on, Balor on the apron, brainbuster to Okada, and Balor would muster the energy to follow up with the coup de grace on the apron, but he was exhausted. These men gave it everything they had. Angle missing the moonsault. CM Punk would follow it up with a huge elbow drop. This is what it's all about. Everybody wants to win in advance. A flying headbutt from Danielson. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the conclusion. A Death Rider from Moxley followed up with the Bulldog choke. And that's where the ref would stop that when Moxley would get the win. Cesaro with the neutralizer to Naito for the 1-2-3. Cesaro back in the win column. That's a big one for him right there. Sheamus looking for white noise. Cassidy reverses to the roll-up, and Cassidy knocks off Sheamus in a big upset victory in the first round, night one of the Blackout. Sheamus can't believe it. I don't know if Cassidy could believe it. Look at this. Brainbuster from Pac. But it was Darby who would roll the legs up and get the quick 1-2-3. Pac had a hell of an effort in his first match back. He argues with the ref, but it's Darby who's walking away with the first round victory. It's not over for Pac, but that is a big victory for Darby. Out of nowhere, the KO Stunner would be enough for the world champion to prove maybe he does deserve it. He's advancing in the winners column. It's all going to depend on how the council votes each win and each man's performance. But look at this. Suplex to the outside. Eddie Kingston, Minoru Suzuki. And the ref has no choice but to count to 10. It's a double count out. I don't know what that means for these two. It's Speaking of countouts, a big 1916 from Balor. And before the ref could get to 10, Balor gets in the ring. A huge victory for Balor. Finally finding a win here in TWFC. It's not over for Okada, but that's a huge win for Balor. And look at this. The referee was forced to stop the Angle CM Punk match because it seems CM Punk has re-injured that arm or shoulder. Angle will take it. He advances. The American Dragon has it locked in. His submission locked in. Would Bourne tap? He rolls him over. 2, 3. Danielson can't believe it. He had Bourne beat, but Bourne pinned him. And that's how that mega match would end right there. Look at this. Brainbuster on the top rope. Sammy has it, but wait a minute. Cody rolls through. Crossroads out of nowhere. Both men exhausted. Cody just took the brainbuster, but he gets the arm over. 1, 2, 3. The American Nightmare pulls out a close one. A very close one. No shame right there. Sami Zayn had a hell of a match against the TWFC champion. But that would conclude night 1. Remember, it's not over for anybody that lost. But it's definitely going well for the ones who won. The council will do some deliberating and get back with us on night 2. Stay tuned for night 2 of the Blackout.
You left the ring before I could tell you this. You pushed me to my limit out there. I know you two have been friends for a long time now, but you gotta get away from Kevin Owens, man. He's only ever going to look out for himself, and you have what it takes to become a champion here in TWFC. You just have to keep working hard and not be influenced to take the shortcuts Owens is known for.
Look, Cody, Kevin is like a brother to me. I wouldn't even be in TWFC if it wasn't for him. I shouldn't have left the ring like a sore loser. I'm just disappointed in myself, so let's just leave it at this. Good match.
Good match. But think about what I said. Every man has to find his own way. It'd be a shame to see you waste your career doing someone else's dirty work. Good luck, Sammy.